question is on the new tax, the non-cooperative tax jurisdictions announcement. The Commission says that this is a new EU listing process to clamp down tax evasion both within the EU and globally. Therefore, I was wondering, why does it not include EU jurisdictions? It only considers non-EU jurisdictions. So that's my first question. Secondly, the US, as far as I've understood from the scoreboard, is listed as a transparent jurisdiction. So far as I understand, they don't have true beneficial ownership in the US. So I was wondering if you could say something about that. And finally, Brazil has judged that Ireland should be considered as a tax haven on its blacklist. Does the Commission have anything to say about that? Thank you.
Vanessa.
Hi, Catherine. Just to clarify what this scoreboard is about. So the reason we have come out with this pre-assessment, this springboard, this first list, if you like, is that we expect our international partners to play fair when it comes to corporate tax. And it's on this basis that back in January we said we need to publish an EU, a common list of non-cooperative tax jurisdictions. This is part of our external strategy on tax that's been fully endorsed by all member states. This, just to clear up any misconceptions, because some of you already asked questions, this is not a blacklist. Really important for me to stress that. This is a first step of that process. Our intention is to help member states narrow down their focus on decide on which third countries, so non-EU countries of relevance, they want to prioritise for further screening in the EU. This is with a view to publishing a final list, if you like, a blacklist, by the end of 2017. We've got a number of objective criteria according to which the scoreboard has been organised, as you will see, and we've got a very extensive memo on that as well. So, on why the EU is not part of the Commission's analysis. Within the EU, as you are well aware, we've pursued a very ambitious anti-tax avoidance agenda today in his State of the Union speech. We have agreed major legislation, binding legislation, over the past 2 years under this Commission to tackle tax avoidance and unfair tax competition. We've also got, of course, a number of major state aid cases underway. So this list is purely intended as an effort to address external threats to member states' tax bases and promote more dialogue and cooperation with our international partners, because we're dealing with the EU with binding legislation. That's why this approach has been agreed by all member states. On the US, the list will cover autonomous tax jurisdictions. The US is regarded as a single tax jurisdiction to be assessed as a whole, rather than singling out certain states. What I can tell you on the US is we already have an intensive dialogue with them on tax, and we'll certainly continue to do so. It's no secret that we want reciprocity on a number of things, for instance, the global exchange of information on financial accounts. We feel that the US has a responsibility to take a central role in the global fight against tax evasion and avoidance, just as the EU is doing, and we're engaging with them. I don't want to now preempt the outcome of the discussions, because that hasn't happened yet. The next step is now for EU member states to look at the scoreboard, see if they're happy with the criteria, and take the process forward and decide where the screening process, which countries they want to have the screening process with. And then, when this is done at this third phase, at the end of next year, we'll have the outcome and have a common EU blacklist. So I'm not going to comment on particular positions, etc., and countries that may or may not feature at this stage, because this is not a blacklist. And as Margarita said at the outset, we have experts here in the room for more comprehensive information.